And now, I talk back with Ray
I'm telling you, I couldn't make it up if I tried.
and Mandii.
You've got to be freaking kidding me. You know what? That's all I'm saying.
Please give me another chance. And I was like, well, since you put it that way.
But I was like, well, shit. Okay,
fine. Well, okay.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it was like, and that's literally what he asked me was, if you could walk away from this and not ever think about it, like not wish, not wonder, not feel like something's missing. I will never text you again.
Yeah.
And he did that like we quit talking. He did it for a month, like probably about 5 months.
Right.
6 months maybe.
So you see a lot of people out there that have been with their partners or they've been married for a really, really long time, and then they meet somebody else and they feel like their souls connect, right? But it's like, are you really connecting with this other person, or are you lacking something in your current relationship that you want from your current partner?
There you go.
And if that's the case, you really need to ask yourself, is this new person I feel like I'm connecting with worth me losing everything that I've built over the years with this other person that I felt was my soulmate when I married them?
Start cheating.
Yes. But it's like, is it worth it? Or is it worth you doing that to either, because I know some people out there are shady boots. They like to hide stuff, so they like to cheat and not ever tell anybody about it and just be shady. But is that worth it to hang on your conscience?
For sure.
To be sneaky like that, you know? Because a lie is a lie is a lie, right? But, and regardless of if you did it years ago and your partner barely found out, guess what?
It's still going to hurt like it
It's
happened
a cut
yesterday.
fresh. It's a fresh cut.
Yep.
Yes, yeah. So just to be very mindful of the connection you have if you're thinking that this is your soulmate. Because sometimes you think it's your soulmate and it's not.
You got an ordeal. All right, next question. Yeah. What's the best advice for someone navigating a breakup?
This one is close to home because my child has just left a relationship of 6 years. And it was her decision, very hard. And her question was, how do you move on from a relationship you thought you were going to be in forever? And I said, well, babe, life is going to come. It's going to come whether you want it to or not.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're going to have your grieving stages. And who knows in the future if you two decide to come back around with each other and give it another shot. But right now, in these moments, you have to have a support system.
Yeah.
You have to have people that are around you, that check in on you, that make sure you're doing okay. But you have to allow yourself to go through those stages, because you'll go through, 7 stages of grieving?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to go through all of them.
Or 5, I don't remember.
Yeah, they're 5 or 7.
Yeah.
But you're going to go through all of them. Yeah. And just allow yourself to move through them. There's no time limit. They're not saying like, people that are not supportive are going to tell you, it's fine, you'll be better without them.
Yeah.
But they were not in the relationship.
But I miss them now.
They didn't have those connections. And it's going to be hard changing an entire routine, especially if you've been with them for a very long time. Because all your mind just knows one thing that it's learned over the years. It's muscle memory, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to allow yourself time to create these new routines. And you may even have to start putting things in place of, like hanging out with friends, going out to eat, or movie nights, like something that's going to like have you just, I am real big on so this is what happened. So they separated after 6 years. He moved on really quickly after 3 months of them separating. And that hurt her.
Yeah.
Because she was like, why is it that you weren't doing all this stuff for me when I was with you for so long, but now you're with somebody new?
We can talk about that.
Yeah,
baby.
and you're doing this for them.
We can talk about that.
And it's like, but everybody puts on a show at first.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to sit there and be, juggling all the balls and doing all the good dining. And you know what I mean? Like everybody puts on a facade when you first meet them. So you really don't know anybody until you're further down in the relationship.
Well, I will say this. For everybody watching this. If he wanted to, he would. And so what I had to learn in breakups and when I had to leave or get left is that I used to feel like if I just did enough, if I just bought enough, if I just help them enough, they would, and I can just prove what a good woman I am, they'll see it. And they'll finally settle down, act right, be the man, whatever it is, right? But what I learned was, literally, you can never be good enough for the wrong person.
Nope.
You can never be good enough for the wrong person. So if you're not careful, you're going to end up thinking you're so flawed.
Right.
And something is wrong with you.
Yep.
And it's so personal. Because you cannot not take it personal. Because you're
right.
like, well, it's
what did
personal.
I do wrong?
What did I do? Why don't he like me? Why don't he love me? Why don't he do this? And then God forbid they move on.
Right.
And then you see them doing all these things so naturally.
Yep.
For somebody else, you had to beg for the bare minimum.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
And so, like, I used to beg. I used to be like, can you please just call me? What?
No.
What? And so, but what I've also learned was, I believe who you are.
Right.
I'm not trying to change nobody. I don't want to change anybody.
Right.
And so if that person, like I said, I'm 46. I've dated like 30s and stuff like that in 40s. But if that person doesn't naturally do these things,
right,
that's not who they are, and don't change them.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm not going to teach you how to treat a woman and how you should be for me to never experience it,
right,
and for you to give so freely to somebody else.
Right.
So if you're not doing it, I'm good. I don't want you to do anything you don't want to do. Because what will happen is you'll meet somebody else. You don't have to ask for anything.
Right.
And they will give you everything.
Right. Exactly.
Like at first it was very difficult for me to accept that because I was used to having to be like, like begging for attention and begging for, and now, like, I mean, they check on you, they call, they make sure that you ate, they make sure. I'm telling you, at first it was a little overwhelming. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
You're so
when you're not used to that.
Getting it.
You're like, what's their
oh my
ulterior
God,
motive?
what do you
like,
keep
what are they
calling
trying to
me?
do? Yeah.
Like, I'm fine. I was fine 30 minutes ago. I'm still fine.
Yeah.
But then I had to learn to accept. But you know what, Rashawn? Like when you look at it right now, you're experiencing what you prayed about.
Right.
You wanted somebody to care. You wanted somebody to make plans for you. You wanted somebody to say, babe, let's meet for lunch.
Right. Babe, pack your bag. We heading out this weekend. What?
Do you understand? and I have never asked him to do any of it.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's kind of reiterated. If he wanted to, he would. And just because that other person might, because then what ends up happening is we end up staying, waiting for them to change. Because we always feel like if we just show them enough, they'll stop. If we show them enough, they'll change. And then, so you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, and it just never happens because you're afraid they're going to do it for the next girl.
Right.
And if they do, that's fine. But what you have to keep reminding yourself is they didn't do it for you.
It's not about you.
They didn't do it for you.
Yeah. And it's not about you either.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it's not about you. And what Rashawn was saying, that if they're going to do it for somebody else, then, I mean...
Yeah, a man can have all kind of flaws. But I promise you, when he finds that one that he wants to change he'll change.
Yes.
And you're just not the one he wanted to change for.
Exactly.
And that's okay. I had to realize that.
Yes.
I just wasn't his person.
Right.
And no matter how hard I tried to make myself his person,
I
was never going to be his person.
Right.
So instead of prolonging the inevitable, exit stage left early.
Right.
When they show you who they are.
Yeah. And it's important to have these conversations at the beginning of the relationship. Yeah. The things like I was talking about earlier about that are non-negotiables. Like you got to figure out finances, what's important to you. You got to figure out, do they want kids? Where do they want to end up living? Are they, connected to their family? Yep. Like all these things matter because as you
the relationship they have with their mama and their sisters.
Girl, I had that conversation before. I forget who I was talking to, but I was talking about that. I'm like, you need to see how they treat the females in their family, and vice versa for guys with girls. You need to see how the women treat the men in their family.
Exactly.
Like how are the relationships with them? Because that will tell you a whole lot about who they are on the inside.
And then too, with girls with their fathers.
Yes.
What are they accustomed to?
Right.
Exactly. If their father is not there for them, they don't know who their father is. Their father abandoned them.
They're gonna be more independent.
You're gonna have hell on your hands.
Yeah, because they're gonna be more independent.
Yep, you're gonna have hell on your hands because that, or it could flip. Because I've seen it to where it makes the girls super needy to the men because they want then they want that at that point you playing daddy and not boyfriend, not husband, because they didn't have it from their dad.
Right.
So then you got to step in and like, well, wait a minute. So then it could go. I've seen it both ways.
Oh yeah, and you'll notice too. It's crazy when you start really paying attention to people. You will notice that they pick people that are like their mom or their dad.
Me and my friend were just talking about that yesterday, this Friday, and this morning.
And sometimes it's even physical attributes, like they look like them a little bit too.
Yes,
because what they're used to is because what their mind is used to, and what their mind tells them. Ooh, this person right here, because they feel safe.
Exactly. And the thing, so my thing is this. I was doing that, to be honest with you. I was picking certain men with certain traits, not necessarily because they were good traits, but they were familiar traits.
Yes, exactly.
Cheating, I know how to deal with that. I saw my mama deal with that.
Yep.
I knew how to deal with that because I dealt with that from my ex-husband. So it wasn't that they were like elusive and stuff like that.
Right.
It didn't scare me away like it should have.
Right. Because your mind was used to it.
It was familiar.
Yeah, it was familiar.
Right. And so we, oh my God, that's so funny because we literally just talked about that this morning. And I was like, well, I'm looking for new. If it feels too familiar, I don't get warm and fuzzy no more.
No.
Because I haven't had a healthy relationship like that. I've never had that really.
Right.
So if it feels too familiar,
the red flag.
I'm gone. Goodbye.
Yes.
I want something that feels new.
Yes.
And exciting. And like I want to see like I'm not gonna ask you to open my door. We're not gonna even talk about that.
Right.
I'm gonna see if you're a gentleman.
If that's what you like.
That's who you really are. Because the thing about it is, if you give somebody the blueprint of what you like, and what you don't like, what you want, how you see your future, what you think, this and that, then they're gonna show up and do all those things.
Right.
Briefly to get you. But it's gonna stop because that's not really who they are.
Right.
They just showed up because the devil know the Bible too, right?
Right.
So that they know what to say and do because number one, you told them. You told them.
Right.
I'm very elusive now. They'll say, oh, what do you like? Oh, I like a little bit of everything.
Right.
And I was
like, you got to figure it out.
Look, I'm going to see what you show up with. Do you listen to what I say?
Right.
Like I love the other day we went to lunch and I went to the bathroom and I came back. And he like ordered my drink and everything for me. And I was like, oh, thank you.
So things like that, right? So we'll call those soft skills, okay?
Yes.
The soft skills that they have. But I think as far as like planning the future, like, because I feel like you need to ask these questions, like those core questions, right?
Yes.
Like what are the core questions that are non-negotiables? Like we were talking about earlier, like, are you a smoker?
Yeah, that's
nope.
non-negotiable.
Yep,
for
X.
me. Yeah.
Like, do you have a relationship with your parents? How is it? Things like that. Like, how do you treat your parents? Because that could tell you a lot too.
And then if you don't, are you in therapy?
Right, exactly. So I feel like because
to deal with
because
that,
if you don't deal with that at the beginning, and then you start getting emotionally connected to this person, then you're gonna tolerate a lot more than you should, right?
You're right.
Because now you've gotten familiar with them, comfortable with them. You like some things about them, but not all the things about them. But it's like sometimes all the things about them that you don't like are toxic.
Right.
And so why are you going to allow yourself to stay and be in a toxic relationship?
Too familiar, I'm gone. I just can't. I want new, and I want to feel protected.
Right.
I want to feel you making plans for me. I want to hear your conversation. Are you talking about the future with me included?
Right.
Are you using the word I or we?
That
I want to. I'm gonna hear. I just want to listen.
Yes.
Because I'm not gonna correct you.
Yeah.
I'm just listening.
Oh yeah.
To your thought process.
Exactly.
And I've had to learn that. You know what I mean? And then what happened was I used to interject myself. They'd be like, well, I'm like, well, you mean we?
Right.
I don't say nothing now. No, because you said what you meant.
That's exactly right.
When you said I, you meant I. You didn't mean we. You didn't have no plans for me.
Yep.
And I thank you.
Exactly.
I don't even correct you anymore. I don't. I just, okay.
Yeah.
Listen.
I got you.
After a while, I get real busy. And after a while, I just don't call, don't talk, don't.
Like, hey, where you been? I've been trying to get a hold of you.
Been busy.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been here and there. Working.
Yeah, I've been around. Yeah.
I'm telling you, they said what they meant. We just don't listen.
That's right. But that's why I say you got to always be observant.
Yep.
And you got to be aware.
Awesome. Yay. Next question.
I'm like,
are you feeling good? How are you feeling, Miss Ma'am?
I'm feeling amazing.
Okay, great. Love the questions. Love them. Okay. I'm almost done. I promise. I'm almost done. I'm going to ask them out of order. What three things do you think are the most important in a relationship?
3 things. 1, communication. 2, awareness. You have to be aware in a relationship of what's going on, because that will allow you to be there and be fully present for your partner, right? For your husband or wife. And then the 3rd one, friendship.
Okay. Friends first.
You have to have a friendship with this person.
You got to like them, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I think, too, like, you may not like them all the time, I guess, but you're definitely going to love them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And if you think about it, and you think about the relationship you have with your friends and how protective you are over them, like how much you don't want to see them hurt, how much you want to be there for them when they're in, troubles or whenever they're sad, and you have that friendship there, it's different than when you have a relationship, right? A love type of relationship or a lust type of relationship. It's different. But when you have them together, it's pretty powerful.
Second to none.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm excited for the future. I can't wait to feel all those things. All right. Last question.
Okay. Grand finale.
Grand finale. How soon is too soon to tell someone you love them? Is that a thing?
I don't think so, because I think when you're together, because we always think about our gut feelings. Like, what is your gut telling you? I think a lot of people don't really pay attention to their gut, but you really should pay attention to your gut, because your gut will never lead you wrong. Yeah. It's that intuition that you have,
When I haven't, I've always regretted it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But I think, and like I said, it depends on what you categorize love as. Like, what are you making love mean at that time? Does it mean that you're enjoying their presence? Does it mean that you really, like, truly love them? Are you getting those feelings of love? And I don't know if everybody has, like, had the, honor or whatever you want to call it, of feeling love, but you'll know it. You'll know it when you feel it. And if you have that feeling towards a person, then you should just tell them, you know? Now, I know some people won't do it because they're scared that they're going to scare the other person away, right? So read the room. What's going on? If you see that they're, a type of person that is skittish, you might want to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you might want to pump the brakes and maybe wait, 5 months. But I think if at least 5 months, depending on where your relationship has gone since then, I think that's probably a good time to kind of like, enjoyed company, really like you, and having feelings, you might not want to say the word love. Yeah. But I think eventually, and then I know a lot of things is like, who should say it first, the man or the woman? Exactly. What do you think? Do you think a man or woman should say it first?
Okay. I feel like, honestly, the man should say it first.
The man?
I do.
Why? Tell me, I gotta know.
Because I think it's just more like women, we're programmed just a little bit differently.
Absolutely.
We're more emotional anyway.
1000%.
By nature.
Oh yeah.
And I think a lot of our love will be from how they treat us.
Yes.
I can speak for myself.
No, that's true.
My love is really sometimes I just love you because you love me. Like it's just it's great, right? I think it's you don't normally meet a woman that's just mean and ugly to a man that really loves them. Right. Now, because men feelings become a little bit more calculated, I think, than ours. Right. And I believe that there are the providers and protectors in the relationship. I think as long as they're on board with it, we can jump on board. Right. But I just think like the man, because I think their feelings don't come as easily as ours, I'm going to normally wait until the man says, gotcha, I love you. Yeah. It's, that one's kind of like a slippery slope because it depends on the relationship. It depends on like who you're with and what's going on. Some people will say it just to say it because you said it. Nice. There's no meaning behind it for them. It doesn't mean anything to them. Like, I don't. Because you didn't say it first. Because when you think about it, words are just words. Yeah. And so actions, I know everybody's heard this, actions speak a whole lot louder than words. Because you could say you love me, but be doing stuff that's completely different. Yeah. There ain't no love in it. Exactly. So it just depends on how you're using it and how you mean it. But we do know that men and women are completely different creatures.
We do things completely different. Like you said, women are way more emotional than men are. Men are simple. Men are happy being, you know? And there are some men out there that are happy making their partners happy.
Yes.
You know, it just depends.
They just love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's what they've seen.
Yeah, and their happiness is based off of how happy their partner is, and then they just are good, and that's what they live for. So.
And sometimes it's opposite of what they've seen because they don't want to be like whoever they were watching. They were like, I will never be that type of person, and so they're completely opposite, right? So it just depends on the upbringing and the person. Like
who told they love you first? You or Donnell?
Me or Donnell? Ooh, girl, we've been together for so long. Who the heck?
I don't even know.
I feel like it was probably me because Donnell's an action and not word person. So I feel like it was probably me.
I think it was him.
But you know,
He's a Cancer. He's emotional. You're a thug. Like you don't. Yeah. It means a thug at heart. I didn't think Donnell had to have said it first.
Yeah, I'm like,
I wonder what he remembered.
I feel like he probably said it, but without saying it. Like I feel like because I'll tell you this, my husband when we were dating, he wrote me like a 2-page letter, front and back.
That is so sweet.
Yeah, 2-page letter, front and back, and I still have it. I have a. Okay, y'all can say whatever y'all want, talk shit. I don't care. I have a photo album that I made with me and him, and on the binding it says Amanda and Donnell, and then on the inside it has like movie stubs from movies we went to. It has like tickets from like basketball games we went to. It has the. I'll tell y'all. Okay, fine. I'll tell you my secrets. It has. I wrapped up the flowers, the first flowers he ever gave me, and I wrapped them in like this wrap, and I have them in the photo album. I have like gifts that he gave me, and that letter's in there. That letter that he wrote me is in there. And when
he's got to have told you first. That just proves my point. Like I don't know. And
when we broke up one time, it was so heartbreaking for me. I wrote a poem for him, and it's in that album too. Guys, shut up.
It's okay to look at that point now.
I'm like, y'all got to hear it one day. Yeah. And so I just have this album of it. And then, of course, you know, that's halfway through. And then I have pictures of us from when we were dating, when we were younger. Yeah. And then, like, halfway through, here comes Taviana. So now the rest of the album is all Taviana pictures.
That is so cute, though.
But I still have that album with us, So it's just like, how do people make you feel about them? Like, do they make you feel like you want to create a little photo album with y'all's happenings?
I don't know. Like, I don't...
I don't know if I ever have that. But that was me then. I don't do all that now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because we hardly go to movies anymore. Everything's streaming, and we're older. But I still, like, honestly, whenever I think about him, I still get, like, butterflies. Like, I still get happy thinking about him. And, like, I'll listen to certain songs. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, if y'all listen to Addicted by Cisco and don't think about your partner, then you might not be with the right person. Because that song is just like, and every time I hear it, I think about him. So it's just like,
I'm gonna listen to that and see what feelings that conjures up.
Yeah, like who you think about when you hear that song.
Oh, we're gonna see. I'll text you, let you know.
Yeah,
this is who I thought about.
I'll be like, and I'll be like, turn that song off. Don't
exactly. Delete it.
Yeah, delete that song.
Turn it off.
But yeah, so.
Well, thank you so much for being a great interview today.
Thank you.
I hope y'all enjoyed the show. These are really good questions. You can even ask these questions to like your friends, your family, your partner. Yeah. To kind of get to know each other a little bit better.
Exactly.
Right? But it's been great.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome anytime.
Right? Thank you, guys.
Again, thank y'all so much for tuning in to I Talk Back with Rae and Mandii. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning into I Talk Back with Rae and Mandii. Please hit the like and subscribe button to stay updated on future podcasts.